WCIA 3 News.
A fire chief who died was honored tonight by several other departments. We'll tell you what this meant for his family. The decision of whether or not to allow recreational marijuana sales in Decatur will be put to the voters. Why this township decided to challenge City Council's choice. And the Illinois Department of Corrections will be making some changes. Why they have less than a month to figure out how to handle transgender inmates.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 9 on X49.
Chief Bennett, may you rest in peace. 1801 clear.
That's the sound of the last call that honored the Sidney fire chief when he died. Tonight, several fire departments gathered outside his family's home for a special ceremony to pay respect. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Jensen. Today would have been Chief Earl Bennett's 60th birthday. He died in his sleep 4 months ago. Tonight's ceremony was a way to commemorate his life and his service. WCIA 3's Andy Olson is here now with us. Andy, what did this mean for his family?
Jennifer, Bennett's son says the past 4 months since his father died have shown his family how much of a brotherhood and a second family the fire department really is. Bennett was the Sidney fire chief for 10 years and had about 30 years of fire service experience. Sadness was felt by many when he died. Tonight, about 8 fire departments sent their trucks to his family's home. They held a moment of silence in the front yard and played the last MedCAD call that was dedicated to him.
Earl will never be forgotten, and I mean never. He will never be replaced, and he will never be forgotten. And I think this will just kind of prove that. Whenever there's special occasions like this, the Brotherhood's going to come through and just prove that.
The family says they're grateful for the small town support from all the different emergency responders and the community. Bennett's family says the best way people can honor his memory is to do a random act of kindness for somebody, because that's what he did while he was alive. Jennifer?
Great way to remember him. All right, Andy, thank you. A court ruling means major changes for transgender inmates in Illinois prisons. From now on, the Department of Corrections must assign inmates to housing based on their declared gender identity, not their sex at birth. An Illinois prison board that approves medical treatment decisions for transgender inmates must also allow transgender inmates access to care if an outside medical professional recommends it. The American Civil Liberties Union celebrated the judge's decision as a sweeping victory for transgender inmates.
Can include things like hormone therapy, which is repeatedly denied or delayed, social transitions, so access to gender-affirming clothing and grooming items for many prisoners, many individuals with gender dysphoria. Surgery is medically necessary.
The court order came with multiple demands, all of which center on the treatment of transgender inmates. The state has until January 22nd to create a plan detailing how they will change. A suspect is under arrest after a triple murder on Christmas in Livingston County. It happened around 2 a.m. yesterday morning on East Jackson Street in Cullum. Police arrested 53-year-old Clifford Brewer for murder. They say he killed 51-year-old Norman Walker, 48-year-old Shirley Brewer, and 27-year-old Christian Brewer. The coroner confirms Shirley is the suspect's wife. Christian is his son. Police responded to a report of shots fired in Champaign this afternoon. It happened near Northwood Street and McKinley Avenue. Police say one house door was damaged in the shooting. They say there were no reports of anyone hurt. Fatal car crashes are declining in Illinois this year. IDOT says 965 people died from car crashes. That's about 50 fewer deaths than last year. Officials say they hope to keep that number under 1,000. That's why state and local police have teamed up to increase road patrols until January 2nd. They say cracking down on impaired driving has also lowered the number of DUI deaths. People in Danville are mourning the loss of a woman who played a huge role in the community. Former Vermilion County Coroner Peggy Johnson died of a stroke on Christmas Eve. WCIA 3's Karina Rubio shares the story of her life's work.
The job of a coroner can be especially tough. They're often the bearer of bad news when dealing with death every day. But fellow co-workers say former Vermilion County Coroner Peggy Johnson brought something special to the job.
It was her ability to be compassionate. She had a huge heart and a large capacity for compassion and understanding what people were going through and putting herself into their shoes.
Current coroner Jane McFadden says that compassion and understanding is what earned Johnson several re-elections as coroner for 16 years before retiring in 2016. She was also part of law enforcement for more than 20 years. But coworkers say her big heart led her to help others in the community too. Johnson also worked at the Danville YWCA, helping women who were victims of violence and domestic abuse. And what she learned there, she was able to use in sensitive situations as coroner.
She had a way with talking to people and making them feel at ease. She was just a wonderful person.
A wonderful person who will be greatly missed by her husband, kids, and grandkids. Johnson's family said their final goodbyes to her on Christmas Eve after she suffered a stroke.
This is just really kind of unexpected and tragic for her whole family and us as a community.
Funeral arrangements for Johnson will be at Sunset Funeral Home. Friends say her services will likely be held after the new year to give family time to make trips from out of town. Voters in Decatur Township will have an extra question on the ballot this March. That's whether or not they're in favor of recreational marijuana sales. The Township Board of Trustees held a special meeting tonight and approved adding the referendum at the next election. The vote in March won't be legally binding, though. Decatur City Council will ultimately make that call. The township wants the vote to be proof of how residents feel, either one way or the other.
Hopefully, you know, if those that are really wanting it and it's a yes, that the community wants it, that, like I said, that the city council will revisit it and listen to the voters.
Several people supporting the referendum gave their opinions during public comment tonight. They believe if enough people support that idea to persuade the city council. The council originally said no to recreational sales in October. You have the chance to give the gift of life. We'll tell you where you can donate blood tomorrow.
And it's weather quiz question time. Today's question is, when was the last year temperatures were above 50 degrees on Christmas? Of course, not being yesterday. A, 1981, B, 1994, C, 2001, or D, 1944. We'll see if Jennifer can answer this question right after this.
Watch Capital Connection, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on WCIA 3.
Wimpy trash bags. Come on. Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Hey, ladies. Buy Hefty Ultra Strong at a low price.
Dada. I wish.
Get Hefty Ultra Strong. Costs less than Glad Force Flex were sold head-to-head.
5 steps for perfect winter skin.
5 steps? My skin gets so dry and itchy, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keeffe Skin Repair. It's 48-hour moisture in one use and guaranteed relief for dry, itchy skin. Thanks to O'Keeffe's, I got my skin back.
The Viewers Club is coming to the news at 9 on X49. Starting this Monday, you'll have a chance to win $100. Watch for your Viewers Club card number. If you see your number, claim your prize. The Viewers Club on the news at 9, coming Monday on X49.
On earth, goodwill to men fills our minds and hearts again. The season for wishing you the very best. Happy holidays from WCIA.
My partner was in a nursing home. Came in one afternoon. He was laying dead on the floor.
For unexplained nursing home injuries or even death, Mom and Law is there for you.
That's what I wanted, was that expertise. They were wonderful.
Call 888-MOM-AND-LAW. We're Mom and Law. For 25 years, we've been helping families whose loved ones in a nursing home have been injured. Do you need justice? Call 888-MOM-AND-LAW for a free consultation. Mom and Law for nursing home neglect.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with Amelia Henderson.
The warm stretch of days continued today. So warm, in fact, that we actually broke a record. 61 was the high today, the record beating it from 1942 at 59 degrees. And those warm temperatures are only going to continue the next few days here. But tonight, low pressure is developing, bringing us some foggy conditions, building clouds, maybe even a sprinkle or two as we continue later into the night. But temperatures still very warm, about 30 degrees or so warmer than they should be right now. 51 degrees in Champaign, 55 in Mattoon, a little bit cooler the further north we go, 40 in Pontiac, 45 in Watseka. As we continue later tonight into the early start of your morning, these temperatures will be dipping down into the 30s, quickly warming back up tomorrow. 49 degrees, going to be feeling another day like spring for us. Go outside, enjoy the warmth, and also the dry conditions won't be sticking around very long. As we go into the weekend on Saturday, during the first half of the day, it's going to be dry, but then a low pressure system is tracking on into the area, going to be bringing us some showers, becoming pretty widespread as we go into the night hours, and will continue into our Sunday. But let's talk about these temperatures here. Well, above average, especially on Sunday at 60 degrees. Then a cold front will be moving on in, bringing us down into the 30s, but still well above average the rest of our December and into the start of 2020. Now, breaking things down a bit further here on Future Track. Again, if you do have any outdoor plans, any errands to run, I recommend on Saturday getting them done during the first half of the day, during the morning hours, before this low pressure brings us these disturbances becoming very widespread. And you can see this dark green here. That's these heavy downpours into the pre-dawn hours of our Sunday. Now, the good news is we are going to be seeing a slight break in the action during the afternoon hours of your Sunday. But then another round of low pressure will be developing, more showers, and then this cold front will be moving on into the area, moving those showers mainly into a few flurries, mostly up north here in areas such as Watseka and in Pontiac, maybe over in Jacksonville as well. But then high pressure will be developing, clearing out all of that precipitation, much drier conditions for the second half of your Monday and also the rest of the work week. Tonight, temperatures again about 30 degrees above average, should be around 19 or so. And as we continue the next few days, we're staying warm, dry for your Friday. So again, go outside, enjoy it while you can before these disturbances, showers track on into the area for your Saturday, Sunday, and then a few flurries for your Monday. So for those of you heading home from those holiday festivities this weekend, take it easy on those roads. Maybe try to get out and about early on Saturday and try to make it home if you can. All right, Jennifer, weather quiz question time. This is the first time we've done this together. So
yes, indeed.
Excited to see if I can stump you or not.
Okay. When
was the last year temperatures were above 50 degrees on Christmas? Of course, excluding yesterday.
Let's see.
I said it yesterday.
She said it yesterday in our newscast yesterday. So
see if she
was I paying attention or no? I'm going to go with B, 1994.
Hey!
I got it right.
She was paying attention. Yes, 1994. That was actually the year I was born.
That's why I remembered it, because you said that the year she was born.
Hey, she was listening.
Wow.
Very good. I'm impressed.
I don't mean to brag.
No, yeah.
All right, well, it's that time in the show. We asked you to share your pictures on Facebook with us, showing us what you did today on the day after Christmas. So this is from Janelle Marie. I thought this was such a cute picture. Look at those two cute little girls.
Enjoying their Wendy's.
Eating at Wendy's.
Oh, she looks like she ate too much. She fell asleep with her sister.
That's the way to be. Almost the way to go.
Absolutely. I'd be doing that at Wendy's, too. All right, and this is Abby Christine Morales, doggy, relaxing, being all cute. Oh, look at the glasses.
Adorable.
Oh, adorable. Just chilling with the fam.
Oh, I love that. I wish that was how I was spending my day. All right, this next one is one of my favorite pictures I've ever seen.
Oh, he looks like he's slumped. Must be had eaten or something.
Another food coma. I don't know. He looks so cute. Look at that.
Cute. His little couch, too.
Oh, man. What a
he's
cute
living life.
All right, well, we'll have a final look at your national headlines coming up next.
Hi, I'm Mel Robbins, and as a best-selling author and host of The Mel Robbins Show, I've met so many inspiring women. Women who are leaders, teachers, mothers, and friends. Now, I want to know, who are the remarkable women in your life? Because we want to share their stories.
Nominate a remarkable woman from your community at WCIA.com, and she could win a trip to The Mel Robbins Show in New York City. Inman Place, recognizing remarkable women.
Make Make your home shine with a new epoxy flooring from Stouts Building Services. Perfect for your garage, kitchen, bath, basement, office, and more. Stouts can install their premier epoxy flooring on anything concrete. Call Stouts Building Services today for all your interior epoxy needs.
With employee pricing for all, the greatest gifts aren't found in a store. They're out there, gift wrapped in snow. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and open them. Unwrap the world in a Jeep SUV with employee pricing for all. With employee pricing for all, purchase and get $6,171 below MSRP plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2019 Jeep Cherokee Overland 4x4.
Picture your future. Imagine places and possibilities. It all starts here. Illinois State University is where your true talents are discovered, developed, and put to work. We cultivate leaders, build careers, and ignite your passion to impact our world. State your passion at Illinois State University.
Evergreen Place is an active assisted living community, perfect for the next stage of life. Every day is filled with opportunities to keep minds and bodies strong. From book clubs to cooking classes, gardening to fishing, seniors will find just the right thing to keep feeling great and loving life. Give us a call or visit us online to schedule your tour today. Evergreen Place, the place to be.
Stouts Building Services in Champaign is the local leader in epoxy flooring for commercial and industrial concrete floors. Perfect for the office, hallway, lobby, or warehouse. Factory floors, barns, training rooms, and more. Call Stouts Building Services today for all your interior epoxy needs.
Live from WCIX 49, this is your local news leader with Jessica Coons, meteorologist Kevin Leify, and Central Illinois' most accurate forecast. You're watching WCIA3 News at 9 on X49.
Today, families of 43 students who went missing in southern Mexico in 2014 marched to a Mexico City church to attend Mass and call for the safe return of their loved ones. The group went missing when students from a teacher's college were detained by local police in the southern state of Guerrero. Investigators say police handed the students over to members of a local gang who they say killed and burned them. The legal cases against 142 people arrested in the disappearances have largely fallen apart because police and prosecution agents in the previous administration allegedly tortured the suspects or violated their rights. At least half of those suspects have been freed, and nobody has yet been convicted. An avalanche swept across a marked ski trail near the Swiss town of Andermatt today. 2 people were hurt and flown to the hospital. 4 others were either rescued or extracted themselves from the snow and are okay. Police and rescuers searched the snowslide after witnesses said more people might be buried. The avalanche happened mid-morning today while many holiday skiers enjoyed mountain sunshine the day after Christmas. A winter storm brought rain and snowfall to San Diego County today. Rainfall caused water levels in the San Diego River to rise near Fashion Valley to rise about 10 feet around 10 this morning. And that's the highest point it has reached so far this year. Coming up after the break, a woman chose to consistently donate blood after she saw how it can change lives. Hear her story coming up next.
Forecast first from WCIA3, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
My experiences working with Beltone and Jennifer now, it's been about 12, 13 years. Well, I chose Beltone because my father-in-law years ago worked with Beltone for years. Actually, he worked with Jennifer's dad at Beltone, and I chose Beltone because of his past experiences. I would recommend Beltone hearing aids to any of my family or friends.
Beltone, helping the world hear better.
Every family dreams to have their own house. This house changed our lives.
Habitat for Humanity is at work in your community and around the world. Through shelter, we empower.
Jay, work as hard as you can. I'll beat any deal.
You're on!
deal. Jay at Dick Van Dyke, you get the whole store.
A fresh cracked egg, sausage, melty cheese, all in a toasty English muffin.
Wake up breakfast with McDonald's.
Come to McDonald's and enjoy one of our bacon breakfast sandwiches.
Before it went through decades of design work, your mattress started with the most important detail of all, our name. Stearns & Foster. Uncover exceptional.
Shop local. Visit us at family-owned Illini Mattress today.
From a sporadic blood donor to a reliable one, a woman shares how time spent in the hospital waiting rooms with her late husband changed her outlook on donating blood. WCIA 3's Jen Lask has the story.
From 1996 to 2000, Ramona Sullivan spent lots of times in hospitals, doctors' offices, and waiting rooms with her husband, Lionel Williams.
My late husband was diagnosed with a condition called Marfan syndrome in 1996.
Williams had a successful heart transplant on June 16, 2000, but died from Marfan complications 3 weeks later. Sullivan had been a blood donor since she was 17, but admitted she was sporadic. It wasn't until she began spending time at hospitals with Williams that she began donating consistently.
I just saw repeatedly over the period of years how much need there is for blood and how it literally saves your life.
When Sullivan began donating more frequently herself, she also began recruiting others, including 2 people who are dear to her heart, Matthew and Catherine, her children with Williams. Catherine sent her mom a picture the first time she donated, and the 3 came together for a special donation.
His 50th birthday was this past March, and so both of his kids and I all came in. That's what we did for his 50th birthday. It was a family blood giving party.
Each year, donations made at the blood center are used to help more than 200,000 patients recovering from illnesses or injuries. Sullivan is O negative, meaning her donations could help anyone.
So that puts sort of an extra layer of awe to the whole situation. I know that not a drop of my blood is ever wasted.
Sullivan knows there are more people out there who can help, and she's calling on them to make a difference.
If you're healthy enough to give blood and you're eligible to give blood and you're not giving blood, what are you waiting for? You can literally save a life.
In Urbana, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
As a reminder, the WCIA 3 Blood Drive is happening tomorrow. You can donate at any of our locations from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and we'll have a list of locations and a place to register on WCIA.com. We'll be right back after the break.
Fills our minds and hearts again. The season for wishing you the very best. Happy holidays from WCIA.
Happy holidays.
News on WCIX is sponsored by the Housing Authority of Champaign County.
The harsh winter weather's tough on everyone, including your vehicle. Keep your ride running smooth with an oil and antifreeze change and protect it from unappealing road salt stains with an unlimited monthly car wash plan at Market View Car Wash Lube and Detail.
Trending rural in Tuscola. It's a way of life. This charming small town's the perfect spot to tackle your gift list. Find unique local artwork at the Vault Arts Collective. Locally owned Sweet Soul Boutique offers ladies' clothing, jewelry, and accessories of all sorts. Pick up the perfect decor item for any home at Winterberry Store and Antique. At Flesser's Candy Kitchen, enjoy freshly prepared food, hand-dipped chocolates, or house-made ice cream. This holiday season, your holiday shopping starts in Tuscola.
Did you know you could be breaking the law this winter if you don't clean the snow and ice off your windshield? Sounds like a no-brainer, right? But many people don't take the time to clean their windshield or their windows to allow for proper visibility while driving. And while you're at it, please say it's a good idea to go ahead and clean both your headlights and your license plate.
This WCIA3 winter weather tip is sponsored by Ashley Home Store.
It's frightening when nursing homes tell you that old people just fall, that fractures, bed sores, choking, and head injuries just happen to old people. Don't believe it. These injuries are the signs of nursing home neglect and substandard care, and you deserve compensation. Call 888-MALM-AND-LAW for a free consultation. Malm-and-Law. You'll want our experience on your side. You'll want your lawyers to be this good.
The harsh winter weather's tough on everyone, including your vehicle. Keep your ride running smooth with an oil and antifreeze change and protect it from unappealing road salt stains with an unlimited monthly car wash plan at Market View Car Wash Lube and Detail.
Intermittent fasting is a growing trend. An article in the New England Journal of Medicine says it's a good one. The diet involves switching between periods of eating and fasting. Studies show the technique may lower blood pressure, improve brain health, and lower the risk of obesity and diabetes. And while you're thinking about your diet, you may want to add oatmeal to your breakfast menu. A study in Denmark followed thousands of adults over a 13-year period. Those who ate oatmeal instead of eggs and white toast even once a week lowered their risk of a stroke by 4%. We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up after this.
If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault and you don't have an attorney, don't go it alone. Take action. We have legal professionals standing by to help you and let you know what your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Paula Haddock here with spokesman Rob Wolf. So who at home should be calling in right now, Rob?
Well, just like you said, Paula, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault and you do not have an attorney, call us right now. We're going to answer all of your questions and we'll let you know what your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Rob. Take action and call now.
I chose Lakeview because it offered a bachelor's for people that already had a bachelor's in something else through an accelerated program. I'd gone from a guy working in sales to a guy now trying to learn what it's like to be a nurse. The faculty really tries to help people pull out their strengths. They did a great job in helping me make the transition from who I was to who I wanted to be. They taught me how to really care for and about patients.
For more on Lakeview College of Nursing, visit Ask an Expert on WCIA.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Green. This is Capital Car Credit, where people come first. We believe our customers deserve to be treated like family. This means we work harder to offer you the best selection and value in late model, low mileage vehicles. Listen to what our customers are saying, and you will see why we say people come first at Capital Car Credit.
Go to Capital Car because right away they looked at my income and they based my payments on my income.
That they're nice people to work with.
Oh, they treat me good. They really did.
Capital Car Credit, 125 North Century Boulevard, Rantoul.
Hi, folks, we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault and you don't have an attorney, we have legal professionals standing by to let you know what your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Paula Haddock here with spokesman Rob Wolf. So, Rob, please tell the viewers at home who should be calling in right now.
Well, just like you said, Paula, anyone who's been injured in an accident, it was not your fault, you do not have an attorney, call us right now. We're going to let you know what your case is potentially worth.
Thanks so much, Rob. Call now.
Here's something cute to close out our show tonight. This little black rhino calf was born on Christmas Eve at Potter Park Zoo in Lansing, Michigan. Its name is Dopsy. The zoo says black rhinos are critically endangered, and on average, fewer than 2 black rhino calves are born in human care each year. Black rhinos are being pushed to the brink of extinction by illegal poaching and loss of habitat. Current estimates show that only about 5,000 of them are alive in the wild today.
So cute. Very cute. I love the name Dopsy. All right, tonight, unseasonably warm temperatures were about 25 degrees warmer than where we should be tonight, and continuing with that warm trend the next few days here. 49 Friday. Enjoy the dryness while you can. Lots of precipitation for the weekend.
All right. Thank you for joining us here on WCIX tonight. We'll see you at 10 o'clock on WCIA.
Have a good night.